Hey, hey. Oh, my name is Hedwig, and I like White Sox.
Oh, hi. This right here is a pure fashion show.
Well, you
So
better get
elegant
away from me
and
with that
so
shit.
new.
Take off your shirt. What is going on? Weren't you a female for a second? You're transgender?
Split is a new movie directed by Night Shyamalan, and I gotta tell you, the ending of this movie is a twist. A twist that I was expecting to see because it's Night Shyamalan and it's pretty known he usually have it in all of his movies. But when I was watching this movie, I can tell the people hated this movie because the message that the movie was trying to dish out went over a lot of people's heads. So what I'm here to explain the ending and give you some plot details that you may have missed in the film. I've seen this movie 3 times, so I got you covered. Now, this review will contain major spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, check out my review for my general thoughts on the film. But if you don't care for spoilers, you have been warned. Let's begin. Split is all about a man played by James McAvoy who suffers from dissociative identity disorder, or DID. That means within this one man there are 23 personalities, all sharing the same body. The original man's personality, his name is Kevin. And throughout the movie, we learn from his doctor named Dr. Fletcher that Kevin has been okay and he's been maintaining a job for 10 years. But this Kevin personality has been pushed aside by the other 23 personalities. And these personalities took over his body and they had control over his body for quite some time. And there's only 3 personalities that was able to do so. First being Dennis, the OCD kind of guy who loves to keep things clean. The second personality is Miss Patricia. Miss Patricia is a nice, kind-hearted woman. And the third is Hedwig, is a 9-year-old boy. And these 3 personalities refer to themselves as the Horde, as the 3 dominant personalities over the 23, the strongest of the 23 that has control over this body. As the movie starts out, it appears that Dennis has the main control over Kevin's body, and he kidnaps the 3 girls. And after he kidnaps Marcia, Claire, and Casey, he takes them to an undisclosed location, which is the zoo, as we find out later on in the film. And once we find out that Kevin works at a zoo, it is revealed by Dr. Fletcher that while he was working at the zoo, 2 girls came to Kevin and forced Kevin to touch their breasts. Kevin knows all of this was just a prank, but to Dennis, who's the OCD cleaning freak, who has a thing for girls dancing for him naked, Dennis sees this as impure, and then therefore he kidnaps the 2 girls for this specific reason. Now, the film doesn't really clarify if these girls or the 2 girls that made Kevin touch their breasts. It was pretty much implied because in this movie, Kevin states that he was watching these girls for weeks that led to them being kidnapped. And the 3rd girl, Casey, who was played by Anya Joy, was not really their friend. She was pretty much tagging along because they were all in the same art class and she needed a ride home. So therefore, she was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So the girls remain locked up and eventually they meet up with the main personalities, who are Hedwig, Miss Patricia, and Dennis. And then those 3 personalities tell these 3 girls that someone is coming. And they refer this being, its personality, this 24th personality, the Beast. We will get to the Beast in a minute. Now, while this is going on, one of Kevin's personalities named Barry emails Dr. Fletcher. And the reason why she emails Dr. Fletcher because Barry, this personality that emailed her, wants to have an emergency session. When Dr. Fletcher set up the meeting to meet up with Barry, we find out that Barry's actually fine. But we learn that actually Barry, supposed to be having a discussion with Dr. Fletcher, was actually Dennis pretending to be Barry. What I think was going on, I think that Barry was trying to warn Miss Fletcher about the beast, but Dennis forced Barry back into the mind of Kevin. Therefore, Dennis is trying to let Dr. Fletcher know that everything is alright. So therefore, Dr. Fletcher would not have any doubts or have any thoughts about something is terrible is going wrong with Kevin's personalities. And during this scene, we learn more about Kevin, and also we learn more about his personalities, and also the concept of the whole entire film. Now, with people who are inflicted with DID, there's been some true evidence and true stories about the personality split disorders. And the best examples I can really explain this, that there is a personality that has diabetes and needs insulin shots, but none of the other 22 personality doesn't really need insulin shots. So when this person converts into this personality, body changes. Therefore, that personality type does not have diabetes and does not require insulin shots. So when this personality has diabetes and that requires insulin shots and the other personalities don't, there is a internal structural change that manifests within the body. So therefore, there is a physical change. And this is what she continues to work with Kevin to convince the others in the field of. And that idea that we could physically manifest the changes ourselves that seem impossible. These are the work from Dr. Fletcher, and the people that works in her field do not believe her at all. Now, the Horde, on the other hand, these three personalities have a different idea. And their belief is the Beast. The Beast is basically not a 24 personality. The Beast is an idea that humans can create based on what they believe in. Can man create something more by believing in themselves? Can there actually be a power that you can unlock based on believing in belief or anything that you think of? Well, that's a good question. So if I jump out the window and I die, well, at least I believe I can fly. But you thought I was joking, but it turns out in this movie that is the case. And that's the message that M. Night Shyamalan is giving out. He's giving out that the Beast is pretty much an idea that can manifest within ourselves that we humans can believe in. Because the Beast was being described as a huge, tall monster with hard rhinoceros skin, with the ability to climb on the ceiling. So that's some freaky stuff right there. Eventually, later on in the film, Dr. Fletcher discovers the girls being locked up in the zoo, and therefore she is founded by the Beast, and then she was killed by the Beast. But before she was killed by the Beast, she had a sharp knife and starts stabbing the Beast, but the blade didn't penetrate the Beast's skin. And later on in the film, when he's chasing Casey, and Casey has a shotgun, it appears that Casey was shooting the Beast, but yet the Beast is able to climb on walls, saw Spider-Man like and very slithering like a snake. It was freaky. The reason why he's able to do all this because Kevin has been working at the zoo for 10 years. And at the zoo there are tigers, there are lions, there are all kinds of animals at the zoo. And Kevin has been studying the characteristics of each animal. Therefore, he's been copying all of the animal's characteristics, and then he applied it to the Beast as an idea. When he physically embodies the Beast, he uses all of these characteristics, which explains why the Beast is able to crawl on walls and slither like a snake and have these characteristics and eat people. Now, the movie is kind of crazy for taking that route, but also is a very cool, interesting subplot and a very interesting twist along with that. Now, the big question I want to answer, how did Kevin create this idea, which is known as the Beast? I think all of this started with the death of his mother. Now, each personality has come to light through his traumatic experiences in childhood while growing up, and his mom has been abusive to him. And all of this was confirmed when Casey confronted the Beast. And before Dr. Fletcher dies, she wrote Kevin's full name, Kevin Wendell Crumb, and therefore by saying his name would neutralize the Beast, and that's exactly what Casey said to neutralize the Beast for some time. The Beast was now converted back into Kevin, and now we see Casey interact with this Kevin personality, and then we've learned that Kevin has been gone because he asked Casey if that day was September 2, 2014. Yikes! Now, there is a scene where Kevin goes to a train station and they leave a bouquet of flowers. But That's probably symbolizes as his mom was killed by a train. He went there and left a bouquet of flowers right at the scene. So, and then that was the scene where he transformed into the beast. So maybe that scene symbolizes the death of his mother and the death of Kevin, therefore being born into a new person, which is known as the beast. Now, let's go back to the three girls. Why are they there? They're there to be food for the beast because Claire and Marsha were eaten by the beast. Yeah, it was very scary because the beast was eating their intestines, all lion style. And Casey, on the other hand, is pure because throughout the film there are bits and pieces about her origin story, and we find out that she was raped by her uncle and caretaker. And thanks to her scars that she left, it seems that she's been making marks on herself. You know, she's been inflicting wounds on herself. Therefore, she has cut marks on her torso, her wrists, and her stomach. And the beast saw all this, and therefore he was able to summarize that she was a tortured soul, and therefore she was broken. And this makes the beast yell out, "The broken has been revolved. Rejoice." Therefore, that right there explaining that her heart is pure and he has found someone like him. You think that might be the end? No, 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 no. That is not the ending. This is the ending that made people hate this film. Let's get to the ending. The last part of the ending, the scene shifts to a diner. Now on the news, reporters explains the details that happened to Kevin in his supposedly animal powers. And these two women are listening to the news reporter, and they both mention about a guy in a wheelchair who has this similar ability. But then at the very end, there lies a mysterious man. And who is this man? Bruce Willis, David Dunn, and he said Mr. Glass, basically confirming Unbreakable and Split are in the same universe, in the same world, and that connects everything. And also there are no connections to the movie Unbreakable, which makes that plot twist a huge, remarkable plot twist and ending. So therefore you have two movies in the same universe. David Dunn and Kevin Wendell Crumb basically pretty much have the same ability, because in Unbreakable the power David Dunn has is basically comes from within and comes from the mind and manifested based on what he believes in, the same way that Kevin Wendell Crumb is able to do with his 23 split personality. So now M. Night Shyamalan created so much possibility and so much potential for films to come, and also he created this universe without actually creating a universe, and that is pretty much visceral, cerebral, and all of that, and thought-provoking and great filmmaking from M. Night Shyamalan, and he definitely deserves a Ben Affleck Batman in my book. One of the best movies I've seen this year thus far. So guys, that's my spoiler review. If you have any more details or any more theories, please let me know. Thank you for watching. If you like everything you see and you agree, click right here to join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews on the way. And I want to leave out a message for you guys. When you're watching movies like these, the most important thing when you're watching movies with M. Night Shyamalan, you must
open your mind! Maybe now you will begin to see.